Happy Wednesday, May 22nd, everyone. Hunter here at North Central Weather Center, and we have a substantial severe weather outbreak that is likely to unfold again as we go through today, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, all the way through Memorial Day weekend itself. We will also look at Memorial Day itself with your temperatures and your precipitation and look at the end of May in today's weather forecast. So make sure you are subscribed here to North Central Weather Center. We'll keep you covered all throughout the year, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and the weekends if needed on the North Central United States with your local weather forecast. Also be sure to press the like button down below. I definitely appreciate it. So let's get into today's weather forecast on Wednesday, May 22nd. You can see temperatures this morning. It's been the same thing. We've seen a lot of chilly air up here to start a lot of our days this spring. That continues across the Dakotas into northern Minnesota, parts of western Nebraska, the panhandle there, waking up to temperatures in the upper 30s this morning. Much more mild conditions further east ahead of that cold front there in the Ohio River Valley, down into the Missouri Valley. Temperatures there waking up this morning into the middle 70s. As we go into the afternoon, we're going to heat up. Those areas that were in the upper 30s will go into near 70 degrees, low 70s this afternoon in the Panhandle of Nebraska, and pretty uniform temperatures as well across most of the north central United States. A little cool pocket up here into northern and northeast Minnesota and far northern Wisconsin. The western upper peninsula of Michigan could see temperatures held down there into the 50s. We are monitoring severe weather in our eastern viewing area as we go through today. This is as a cold front continues to march its way off to the east. We have a slight risk of severe weather for our friends in Ohio, down into southern Indiana, much of the state of Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southeastern Missouri. So from Columbus and Akron, Cleveland, all the way down there into Cincinnati, into Louisville, into Paducah there, Bowling Green, Lexington, and Richmond, all the way down to Carbondale, into the Cape Girardeau region, into Missouri. The biggest risk here will be 60 to perhaps 70 mile per hour wind with these storms, some quarter-size hail, and a couple of tornadoes, especially up around the Cleveland-Akron area, into Erie, Pennsylvania, and into portions there of western Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southeastern portions of Missouri around Paducah, Carbondale, and Cape Girardeau. Could be seeing a tornado there today. Let's look at the timing here this afternoon. Pretty isolated coverage of showers and storms across the viewing area here that are affected by the severe weather in our eastern areas. We start to see that continue as we go into the evening. Again, isolated coverage of storms. Not everybody will see that. And as we go into early Thursday morning, maybe some more thunderstorms aggravated across portions of southern Missouri, southern Illinois, southwestern Indiana, and western Kentucky. These areas could start to see some severe weather potentially, mainly with wind and hail as we go into early Thursday morning if there is severe weather. Not looking at a whole lot of rainfall here through your Thursday morning, maybe a tenth, 2/10 of an inch, a quarter inch maybe, where you see some heavier thunderstorms there into central Kentucky. Otherwise, the most of us across the rest of the north central states will remain dry straight through Thursday. Speaking of Thursday, we're going to look at that here and also on Friday to end the work week. Let's look at our temperatures tomorrow. Very nice spring day across the north central states here with temperatures in the middle upper 70s, a few 80s sprinkled in, especially across the plain states. From South Dakota down there into Nebraska and western Kansas, we start to see a frontal boundary move across the north central U.S. on Friday. That could bring some severe weather across the Mississippi Valley region here as we go through that time frame, but also a cool down across the plains as we go into Friday as well. So let's look at that here. This frontal boundary is going to drop some severe weather potential across the plains all the way up to Grand Forks, Bismarck, Aberdeen, all the way into the Sioux Falls region, Omaha, Topeka, Wichita, Kansas City. We have a marginal to slight risk of severe weather. That's a level 1 and a level 2 out of 5 respectively for severe weather. Main risk here, 60, maybe 70 mile per hour winds, some hail. We could have some significant hail down here in southern Kansas, Dodge City, eastward toward Wichita. Some of those hailstones could be 2 inches in diameter or larger. And just to give you an idea of how large that is hen egg size or larger. So some pretty big hail down there and a few tornadoes. The tornado threat is maximized from Dodge City east to Wichita up toward Topeka there and Springfield, Joplin, Missouri. Those areas, we'll keep a close eye on that through Thursday. The setup here, we have very warm dew points Advecting north from the Gulf of Mexico into the mid and upper 60s, that will contribute to a lot of CAPE, convective available potential energy for Thursday afternoon and Thursday evening. And we also look at another parameter space. It's called significant tornado parameter. And this basically puts everything together, the moisture, the wind shear, the turning of the winds with height, and it gives you a parameter space. The higher the number, the greater the chance is for tornadoes and thus strong tornadoes. So as we go into Thursday afternoon, the values are pretty low, but a value greater than 1 is significant here. So we see that across southern Kansas there Thursday afternoon. But as we go into Thursday evening, the low-level jet stream is going to become a lot stronger down here into the Nebraska, but also Kansas. Those values peak at 22s out of 10. So we have to watch our friends, not only in Nebraska, but I think Kansas for some tornado development as we go into Thursday evening. Look at the timing here. Thursday morning, most of us are quiet outside of the Ohio River Valley with some remnant showers and storms there that could be producing some isolated severe weather, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, quarter-size hail, and mainly just some heavy rainfall. We are watching a couple storms maybe firing up there into northern Oklahoma outside our viewing area, but also into southern Kansas. Keep a close eye on that. Mainly is we're waiting until Thursday evening. It's going to be isolated coverage. Those supercells, they will be discrete, but if they do get strong enough, some big hail, big wind, and a couple tornadoes, can't even rule out a stronger tornado possible there in southern Kansas. Big line of storm starts to develop across South Dakota and Nebraska. That will move its way off to the east and grow a little further south as well into Kansas into early Friday morning with the help of the low-level jet stream. And what is this up here in the blue? Yes, that is wet snow across western North Dakota. We could be adding up some snowfall up there as we go into early Friday morning. Going into Friday, we have that severe weather risk shifting further off to the east into places again like Milwaukee, Chicago, Grand Rapids, down here to Indianapolis, Springfield, and St. Louis, Paducah, Springfield, Missouri. So a lot of areas impacted here as we go into Friday. Right now, just a level 1 out of 5. Would not be shocked if the Storm Prediction Center did upgrade this to a level 2 out of 5, a slight risk for places like Chicago, Indianapolis, or St. Louis. We'll have to wait and see as we get closer because those dew points will be elevated up into the upper 60s to near 70. A lot of instability, especially across southern Illinois and southeastern Missouri, up over 4,000 joules per kilogram there on Friday to support severe weather Friday morning. Ongoing storms across the Midwest from Minnesota down into Iowa and northern portions of Missouri. Likely not severe, but some heavy rainfall producers here. Friday afternoon, as it takes advantage of some of that instability, that CAPE, your convective available potential energy. We'll start to see isolated to scattered severe weather from Wisconsin down here into Illinois, into portions of Missouri and Indiana. We could have maybe a mesoscale convective system rumbling across the Milwaukee, Chicago, Peoria, Illinois area down into St. Louis as we go into Friday evening. Looking at the rainfall totals, Thursday, May 23rd into Friday, May 24th to round out the week. Decent rains across portions of the north central states here. If you get under one of those pockets of heavier thunderstorms, sure, you could see over an inch of rain as we go into that time frame. And as we mentioned, wet snow across western and central North Dakota. We could be adding up maybe an inch or two of snow on the ground across that region, especially in grassy surfaces as we go in towards later on into the week here on Thursday and Friday. Heading into Memorial Day weekend itself on Saturday, May 25th and through Monday, Memorial Day, May 27th, you can see temperatures pretty uniform again on Saturday, May 25th across the north central states. A lot of 60s, a lot of 70s, and some 80s across the south there. Much of the same thing on Sunday, although I think cloud cover and some heavier rain across the upper Midwest into Wisconsin. Parts of Iowa and Minnesota will actually keep our temperatures in the 50s and low 60s for the most part before we warm back up again. More uniform temperatures for Memorial Day into the 70s and the 80s, especially even upper 80s in southwestern Kansas on Memorial Day itself. We are monitoring a substantial severe weather event that is likely to unfold on Saturday. Storm Prediction Center already 4 days out, putting a slight risk level 2 out of 5 on the risk scale across eastern portions of Kansas, Topeka, into Wichita here, into much of the state of Missouri, Kansas City, Springfield, Branson, into the Jefferson City, Columbia area, St. Louis, and then southwestern Illinois toward the Quincy and Hannibal region. We'll keep a close eye on that. Going into Sunday, more substantial even yet. We have a level 3 out of 5 and enhanced risk across the mid-Mississippi Valley, parts of our viewing area in western Kentucky, southwestern Indiana, Paducah, over here into Evansville, into southern Illinois, so the Mount Vernon area, Carbondale, getting into southeastern portions of Missouri, into the Cape Girardeau, just south of St. Louis. But that severe weather threat could shift up there into the southern suburbs of Chicago, into Indianapolis and Cincinnati and Louisville as well. We'll keep a very close eye on that on Sunday. Monday so far for Memorial Day does not have a day outlook for severe weather. That's some good news. Hopefully we can quiet down the weather pattern just in time for Memorial Day itself. Looking at the timing here, during the day on Saturday, I think a lot of this is going to be spent on destabilizing the atmosphere, getting it ready and primed for severe weather Saturday evening and Saturday night. A mesoscale convective system will likely start to sprawl out across portions of the Missouri Valley. That will propagate further east-southeast across the Ozarks region as we go into Saturday night. Damaging winds and hail will be the main threat, but a few tornadoes, even a strong tornado, cannot be ruled out Saturday night. Going into Sunday, soaking rains across places like Rochester, Minnesota, Des Moines, Cedar Rapids, Waterloo, up here toward Prairie du Chien, into Madison, Rockford, over toward Chicago, Peoria, and even Indianapolis. Watching the southeastern side of this range shield for some significant severe weather. Could be seeing some stronger tornadoes and a tornado outbreak again as we go into Sunday night. And finally, by Monday, Memorial Day, we'll start to quiet down. Maybe some backwash moisture up here in the upper Midwest for Minnesota and Wisconsin, but generally seeing the sunshine come back out across the Central Plains and warming our temperatures up for Memorial Day. You can see the very heavy rainfall here. Soaking rains will eliminate drought conditions across Wisconsin, Iowa, and Minnesota here, as we are just barely hanging on to a drought by a thread across this region. I do expect that to go away with widespread 1 to 3 inches of rainfall through Monday, Memorial Day itself. We'll keep a close eye on that. And going through the rest of next week here, besides Memorial Day, from Tuesday, May 28th through Friday, May 31st to end the month, you can see cooler temperatures out east with the trough and warmer temperatures out west in our western viewing area from the western Dakotas down into the panhandle of Nebraska, western Kansas here, as a ridge of high pressure builds in across the Intermountain West, just west of our area. And that will mean some drier weather. Finally, a little break from our active weather pattern by the middle and end of next week and to round out the month of May. So a very active May it's been, folks. More severe weather on the way. Make sure to subscribe to my channel down below. We'll keep you covered on the latest weather forecast information right at your fingertips here across the north central states. Another video is scheduled for Friday. Make sure to tune back in there to watch for more details. Also, press the like button down below. Leave any comments, questions, and concerns below. I'll get to those later on today. My name is Hunter here with North Central Weather Center. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their Wednesday out there.